A few girls had just saved up enough money for the tickets, but suddenly, they realized the concert was on the same day as the sealing ceremony. There was no time to blame the friend who'd misread the date. Layla paced on the rooftop like a headless chicken, scrambling for a solution. Just as she was growing frustrated, Leo downstairs actually asked Layla for an overtime performance and threatened not to pay her if he wasn't satisfied. Seeing that Layla wouldn't come down, Leo felt a bit humiliated in front of his friends and started hurling insults. He angrily cursed Layla and her rigid mother. Layla was completely enraged. She jumped down from the rooftop and pounced on Leo. At that moment, her eyes had turned bright red. Just as she was about to lose control, her mother appeared. Watching the people around cower in fear, Layla came to her senses. The birthday party was completely ruined by this accident. Her once proud mother was scolded by Leo's parents, too ashamed to lift her head. Layla thought she'd get a beating, but unexpectedly, her mother passed her by and went straight to her little friends. She yelled harshly at the three children. The friends tried to explain, but her mother stubbornly believed they'd led her daughter astray. Both sides looked to Layla with expectant eyes, but Layla cowardly avoided her friend's gaze and buried her head in her mother's arms. Back home, the ancient sealing ceremony began. Layla, dressed in a robe, was placed at the very center of the circle. The women sang a mysterious ballad. Along with the song, Layla found herself entering a magical world. There was no one there, yet it made her feel incredibly at ease. She walked up to a mirror, instinctively knowing how to separate from the panda. As long as she passed through this mirror, the panda would be stripped from her body forever. Layla strained to pull more than half her body away from the mirror. At the moment of near success, she suddenly couldn't help but look back at the panda spirit behind her, who, supposed to be unconscious, wore a pleading expression. In that instant, she remembered the happy moments after transforming into a panda. It turned out that besides troubles, it had also brought countless surprises and joys. With that thought, Layla resolutely turned back and merged with the panda again. The ceremony stopped abruptly. Layla hugged her tail, overjoyed. She decided to keep this friend forever and go to her idol's concert. Ignoring her mother and relatives' attempts to stop her, she broke free and ran toward the concert venue. But she didn't see her mother's sealing necklace had cracked. At the concert, Layla sincerely apologized to her friends. She shouldn't have cowardly given in, just to be the perfect daughter in her mother's eyes. The friends and besties hugged each other again. They sang and danced, cheering and crying as their idols appeared on stage. Just as Layla was about to be the lucky one to hold her idol's hand, a pair of red eyes suddenly appeared on the dome. The giant creature was her mother. The audience fled in panic, but her mother spotted her daughter in the crowd at once. Layla was clutched tightly in her mother's palm. Then, her enraged mother destroyed everything at the concert and warned Layla never to listen to such music again. She wouldn't let her daughter slip from her control. Angry, Layla transformed on the spot and bit down on her mother's hand. Mother and daughter immediately began to fight. As the red moon above was about to set, her father quickly gathered the family to rearrange the sealing circle and sang the ancient ballad. But the venue was too large, and the sound couldn't hypnotize at all. At this critical moment, the enraged beast, along with the idols holding microphones, sang the ballad to their tune. Her mother finally fell unconscious. All the women in the family broke their seals one after another, transformed into pandas, and joined forces to drag her mother into the circle. Layla entered that magical world again. Here, her mother had become a little girl, once afraid of losing control. She cried and apologized, fearing every moment she couldn't be her own mother's perfect daughter. In that moment, Layla finally understood her mother. She took her mother's hand and walked through layers of bamboo forests, as if traversing those years of confusion and panic. At the end of the bamboo forest, her mother and grandmother hugged tightly. Her mother finally accepted Layla's choice.